Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Gas South Convention Center in Duluth, Georgia, it's time for Gwinnett Business Radio. Gwinnett Business Radio is presented by Regions Bank, Brave the Beginning, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
And greetings and salutations, wonderful listeners of Gwinnett Business Radio. This is your slightly annoying host, Stephen Julian, welcoming you to hopefully another award-winning edition of Gwinnett Business Radio, coming to you from the Gas South District Convention Center and the Subaru of Gwinnett studios. We've got two great organizations with three guests. We have Matt Bemister and Melissa Ketty from USI Insurance Services and Juan Terrazas from Path United. Before we get to them, I have to introduce the person everybody is waiting for, my co-host, Harper LaBelle.
How are you today?
Better than I deserve. How are you?
Why? Did you have a great Thanksgiving, or was it a fantastic
It was, Thanksgiving. It's always great because just the people you're around.
So it was just
family,
great.
It was.
The phenomenal.
I actually
is
did not
really
try to.
I
did not try to categorize it. How about yours?
I'm still full. If you hear me belch or burp or anything, then you'll know that I'm still eating.
You're still eating.
There's so much
or
food. It's unbelievable.
It's still
how much
processing.
food there is. But we have a fight because my three boys.
Yeah.
If they want the sweet potatoes or whatever, you have to. It's fisticuffs. No, those are for Dad.
Yeah.
Dad, you get nothing and like it.
We had a fantastic peanut butter pie delivered by one of our dear friends from church.
I've never had peanut butter
Oh
pie.
my goodness!
Really?
You've got to have Donna's.
Have I missed out on life?
Donna's peanut butter pie is fantastic, and she made fudge for my son Zach because last year he had said how much he liked it.
Wait a second, you had peanut butter and fudge pies?
Yeah, she shows up on people's doorsteps.
Why wasn't I invited to this?
Because you don't
I know.
have a real.
Never mind. I know now.
So,
I know now.
But I'll have to introduce you. And then trust me, she'll show up at your house and give you stuff. But people didn't come tune into this show to hear about our eating habits.
They want to now.
Thankfully. No, what they did was they came to hear our guests. And we want to welcome into the studio Matt Bemister and Melissa Ketty. They are with USI Insurance Services. Matt is the Vice President of Property and Casualty Insurance. And Melissa is Regional Sales Leaders. Welcome to Gwinnett Business Radio and Business Radio X.
Thanks. Good morning.
Thanks.
Yeah,
great to be here.
Absolutely. Okay. USI Insurance Services, one of you has to tell us. I know insurance is insurance services, but tell us all about what you guys do and what USI is known for.
Yeah. Well, first of all, USI offers additional property and casualty, but we have additional services. So everything from my side, which is property and casualty, employee benefits, retirement solutions, as well as some consulting services. So we have across the United States 200 plus offices. We're top four largest, privately owned brokerage house for the insurance side. And with that, we focus on trying to find the right partners and businesses to work with.
So USI is it relatively new here in the Gwinnett County area? And along with that, how specifically are you guys engaging with Gwinnett County?
Yeah, so our office is located in Dunwoody. We've been there since 2018. We've been in the Atlanta market for a number of years. How we got engaged with Gwinnett County was really our ability to connect with the business owners, decision makers of Gwinnett County. Obviously we focus on industrial manufacturing, higher ed, education, so a very large spectrum of client businesses, and to leverage the platform of the chamber and the county is really important for us to engage, whether that's supporting various events, supporting or attending functions. That's just really our opportunity to shake hands to the right people and develop relationships from that standpoint.
And Melissa, I want to throw this question to you. It sounds like kind of community engagement is very important to USI and how you guys do that. So plenty of business owners listening will go, oh yeah, I know about engagement. But what are some of the ways you guys do that a little differently than a lot of people?
Well, one thing I want to describe is we hear, who is USI? We don't have Super Bowl ads. We don't have a baseball park. Where we put our money is in our talent and our experts, and we do that so they can advocate. They can be advocates for the clients. How we communicate, one of the things that we invest in heavily at USI is technology and talent. So what we're trying to do right now as a broker, so if you think about USI as a broker, I want you to think about three entities, right? You have your carrier. And have you ever seen carrier profits? Every quarter, what are they always doing? Making money, right?
Lots of it.
Lots of it. And now you have a company, maybe making $50 million annual sales. Who's fighting for that business owner and the employees? How are you keeping their structures safe? How are you preventing injury? What are you doing to save them time and money? And so what we're doing is we're in the middle, and we are speaking on behalf of the client, and we're using, for example, you know how the government hires cyber criminals to fight cybercrime? We hire underwriters from the carrier side to work for us, so they speak the language, they know the numbers, they're going through all the analytics, and now we know how to speak it. We know how to negotiate. So that's how we do things fundamentally different, and that's how we communicate.
Pretty interesting. Stephen, he said that he deals with a lot of higher education, so that eliminates me right off the bat. I can't do anything. But when you started, now tell us how how did you initially begin, and not being one of the bigger names and having to fight for that space? That's a very unique challenge, isn't it?
Well, yeah. So we were a merger of two different companies. We were an office of Johnson & Bryant, and then also acquired Wells Fargo Insurance. So it kind of became USI bought those companies and basically developed the Atlanta office. And surprisingly, when we acquired the Wells Fargo side, we actually had one of the largest producers and brokers in the United States, a lady named Lily Axelrod. She at that time had the largest book of business. It was a $25 million book of business from a property casualty standpoint. Wow. So she was really, a fantastic broker and really well known. But how we've kind of grown from that standpoint, as Melissa said, is the talent is finding those subject matter experts, whether they're in a particular industry field, somebody that works primarily maybe with financial service companies, manufacturing, industrial, or construction. Like myself, I came in with a background with a large not-for-profit higher ed. I worked for an investment consulting firm, and we did institutional business. So I got connected through actually a Gwinnett Chamber member who knew one of our practice leaders and said, hey, they're really looking for folks. It would be a conversation to have, and sitting down and talking to the practice leader, meeting the other practice leaders, listening to the approach, the process, the technology. It blew me away. And I was like, so I can do exactly what I want to do, what I'm doing now, but have all these resources at hand from a marketing standpoint, which I work with Melissa on, from my book of business, but also the resources that USI shares from the technical experts, the underwriters, the account managers. It was really, really interesting to sit there and listen to that and say, wow, I can come on, use my ability to sell, use my ability to develop relationships with clients and prospective clients, and have all this behind me, not having to do everything myself in previous sales jobs. So it was really, really cool to see, and it's been a great, great 2 years with USI.
I think if people are listening, especially people who are involved in some of these larger businesses, larger organizations, higher education, just bigger companies, okay, that might be listening to this, I think one of the maybe pushbacks they would want to give to some of the things you guys are saying about what you guys can do, property and casualty insurance, HR consulting, retirement benefits, health benefits, things like that. There have been other competitors, one has 3 letters, the other one might have an X at the end of their name, that anyone who's had any dealings with them eventually, and this is me, this is not you guys saying this, so throw stones at the messenger if you need to, but I don't know many that have had great experiences with when a larger organization is trying to cover multiple things or everything through one provider. So clearly, you guys have got a secret, or there's a secret sauce. There's part of the recipe that is very different from the bad experiences people have had. Give me the secret.
I will say it in a phrase: we are nationally connected and locally embedded. So your local companies are going to get local experts. So we're not going to fly someone in from New York. You're not going to have to pay for it. It's baked in to our services.
I like it. And they're not going to be treated like a number.
That's right.
Correct. Right. That's where the local connections happen.
Yep.
So then let me then pivot, because on your website, you guys are kind of known as you've gotten a lot of awards for being a great place to work. So you're not, so you stay, how is it connection without becoming this giant monstrosity that people don't like to work with?
Yeah, we're at 2.5 billion right now. And, I think we are a financially disciplined company. We still run on a lot of metrics. That helps us identify where the issues are, to better communicate, to better solve for, to build strategies around. But I'll let Matt talk about that, because I think that's really what you do. I mean, you're the quarterback here.
Yeah, I mean, I think from a culture standpoint, I think it's really comes down to how we work together as a team. You know, we meet every Monday as a team, and we're walking through prospective meetings. We're walking through either client conversations, and we're bringing in those, local technical experts. And so we're all understanding how we're kind of dissecting the problem or looking at a challenge that a client's having, and really we're all coming together on the same level of what are we trying to do is provide outstanding client service and come back with a solution to a problem. And we really can rely on our technical and our data information that we have with our Omni Analytics, which is really a Google Analytics real driver. I can go in and plug in a particular client's information, and I can kind of have an idea of what they're going to be paying or what we can anticipate they're paying, whether it's coverage lines from workers' compensation, if it's auto, if it's general liability. And then when it comes time to actually go through either to quote that process or renew that process, we're relying on really a lot of years of information that we have. So we can go back to underwriters, we can go back to the carrier and say, hey, we have this many clients that are in this same SIC code that are in this same rate or limit. We want to find that, and we can justify that with our data analytics, and we take the time to really understand our clients and have that technical expert and resources to help our clients and be that client service.
Matt, Melissa said earlier that there are things that are baked in.
Yeah.
I like that analogy, because sometimes you need a little bit of salt and sometimes just a pinch of cinnamon to add into it. You mentioned a little bit earlier about the technology.
Yeah.
How has technology changed? I know when I go to the doctor, now they've got an iPad or a device now where everything is absorbed there, and it's becoming really paperless. Mm-hmm. And everyone that works in a medical facility will tell you it's so much faster than what it was. So you mentioned the technology. How do you apply that now, and what's the benefit to the client in lowering costs or giving them a better value?
Well, I think going back to what I said, leveraging that data, I think clients want to understand what they have and what they're going to get. And I think we rely heavily on our benchmarking capabilities to where we're really giving them a clear line of sight of what their current program is, and then looking at where we can enhance their coverage, maybe close some gaps, plug some holes, because at the end of the day, that's what we want to be doing, is we want to make sure that their overall their program
as covered as possible, right?
As covered as possible, and looking at those uncovered issues or issues that may arise within their year of their coverage. Going even further than that, we can really real time actually kind of give an estimate when we're in front of the client. That's something that we really work on a continual basis, is the education, the technology, and leverage of that, where I can be in front of a prospective client and we're talking about their workers' compensation, and they may have had maybe some increases in their EMOD analysis, which if they're doing government work, they really have to be conscious of being very good risk and safety conscious. And so I can literally sit in front of the client and walk through what a current claim has cost them and what it could potentially cost them in the next 3 to 4 years. So it gives them a real sense of, all right, what can we do to help them close that, and then help them keep from having a continue or maybe a slip or a fall or a trip that may be happening in their business.
Well, Melissa said you were the quarterback, so every now and then somebody blitzes. They try to do something different. A machine breaks down, or what happens if, and part of your job is to find all those answers and make sure that they're not a devastating portion to the business. Melissa, you were going to add something too.
We've all heard of AI. What is AI? What is AI to you?
It's a robot ready to take my job.
It's a news story that makes me want to click on it.
Okay. So in our house, at the USI house, we have assisted intelligence. And what
That's for older robots?
Yes. So it's perfect for you.
Yeah, they need,
need
a shot of oil like the Tin Man.
Yes. Good reference. So we have something called, in our database, we have assisted intelligence. So we are arming vice presidents like Matt to go out there with the information in hand. So you are locked and loaded. You're not going into a meeting with a business owner asking them a bunch of questions. Yeah. You should have done your due diligence. Mm-hmm. You should be thinking.
You're telling them what they need.
Meeting. The puck's going to be there. Over there. That's where we want to be. That's where we want to be. That's where we're going to be thinking.
Very Wayne Gretzky.
Skate
where the puck's going to go.
We got quarterback. We got a hockey reference. Yeah. Man.
Thanksgiving. She baked it in.
Well, by the way, you said baked in and said, I love that. And I'm like, way to continue the storyline of still being full. You should have burped after that, but that would have been.
Look at my eyes. You can't tell if I'm a robot or not. I do my homework.
So I was going to ask this. You guys have laid out some fantastic stuff. And obviously, some of the larger companies in the area can clearly see the benefit. I'm also assuming that because of that, the way you guys have scaled or the way you guys do what you do, I would imagine even smaller companies can certainly benefit.
Can mom and pop
startups? Can mom and pops bake somebody's pie shop that makes peanut butter pies?
Yeah, we have a minor league team. Yes, we do.
There we go, baseball.
We got a baseball reference in.
Right. I like that.
Yes, so we do service clients that are smaller market, and it's called our Select business. And so we have that available both on the employee benefit side as well as the property and casualty side.
Nice. All right. Well, leave it to the regional sales.
There's nothing that's uncovered
to kind of handle that. Matt, I know why you brought her along. You got all the details. She kind of ties the bow on it and throws the pitch and the winning score. Okay, anyway. All right. So
reference, I love it.
Matt Bemister and Melissa Ketty here with USI Insurance Services. At this point on Business Radio X, if a business owner, they're all screaming now, get us the contact information if they haven't already searched already. How do people get in touch with USI?
Yeah, you can go to usi.com or you can send an email to me, which is matt.bemister@usi.com, or you can give me a call at 404-290-4520.
Fantastic.
I would love listeners to go on LinkedIn and check out the USI Services page where we post all of our awards, we post all of our initiatives, our programs, getting back to your culture, why we do have such an outstanding culture at USI. So checking out LinkedIn and going through that, I think that would be good to do a little research. And then I am melissa.ketty@usi.com.
Spelled K-E-T.
K-E-T-T-Y. Not kitty, Ketty.
Ketty.
Yeah.
K-E.
Ketty, not kitty.
Well, Matt was just all about me. That's what quarterbacks are in my experience.
Yes.
Melissa was go to LinkedIn and check out us.
Yes.
But there's a me also in us.
Right.
You can spell us.
I'm the head coach.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Mike Tomlin.
And don't forget, if you go to usi.com, you will see very quick, it's one of the top, you guys have gotten awards for a place to work with. So people who work in the industry or want to get in the industry, I'm sure they can talk to you about careers. So all that.
Are you looking? Is this a market?
Always.
You're always looking.
You're
for
looking
talent.
for good people?
Yeah,
always
talent.
looking for
great people.
Talent, yeah. See, that
just like a general manager.
That eliminates me right off the bat.
We're looking for great talent, but we're also looking to benefit clients. I mean, we're a client-first organization, so we're here to help, underserved clients or underserved middle market businesses. That's what we're
probably also looking for good local relationships with other people who work with businesses and ways that you can help each other out, synchronize business. Man, okay. What don't you do? Anyway, go to the website, go to the LinkedIn and see if you could figure out what they don't do, and then they'll probably do that well. So Matt Bemister and Melissa Ketty, thank you guys so much for being here today.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. This was great.
Absolutely. We'll be right back right after these messages.
Life is full of ifs, but if you want to cash flow like a pro and get paid up to 2 days early, safeguard against surprises and supercharge your savings, Regions Life Banking makes it possible.
Regions Bank, embrace the if in life.
Regions Bank, member FDIC.
for the first time ever, the Atlanta Gladiators podcast will now be on Business Radio X. Be on the lookout for new interviews each week as Director of Broadcasting and Communications Liam Godimer chats with Gladiator players, coaches, and even representatives from corporate partners. For tickets, partnerships, and more, visit atlantagladiators.com or call our front office at 770-497-5100 to chat with a Gladiator representative today. Atlanta Gladiators Hockey, draw your sword.
And welcome back to Gwinnett Business Radio on Business Radio X. Harper and I are both back from the post-Thanksgiving leftover table, and we're going to try not to belch. And Harper, I had a quick little moment there. I said we'll be back after these messages, and I'm still getting used to the break with messages. And I was like, is it messages or message? Did I mess that up? So I didn't. It was messages. Glad to
There's
hear
more
that.
than one.
And speaking of messages, I think you have one too.
We've only done one, so let's do the other one.
We've done two. Now you got another one.
Well,
yeah.
love is what makes a Subaru, and you can enjoy the large, big, gigantic, and immense savings and the hassle-free experience at Subaru of Gwinnett, where people sell cars. Visit SubaruofGwinnett.com. You can join their family today, or you can come on in and see the difference. They're at 2950 Satellite Boulevard in Duluth. Their phone number for sales is 470-824-3860. The Impreza, the Legacy, the Forester, the Outback, and Steven's favorite, the BRX. He wants 3 of them. But anyways, if you'd like more information, visit SubaruofGwinnett.com. You can check out their Facebook page. I don't know if they have a LinkedIn page, but we're going to find out.
Sure
and if they do, we can find out all the latest news, offers, and community events.
You can find out about how they're hiring on their LinkedIn page because they hire real people. By the way, Subaru, a cornucopia of wonderful car choices, just to keep with the Thanksgiving theme. And I got blank looks from...
Are you an AI right now? Because you're in a different world.
No, I was actually told yesterday that I might use too many big words, but that's my mom's fault. She, educator, she taught me big words.
What's another word for thesaurus? Do you know? You're not even going to answer that for me?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. Yeah. I'll get back to you on that.
Now, you blame your mom for your vocabulary?
Well, I thank her for the vocabulary.
You blamed her. I
didn't blame her. Somebody
mom.
said, you know what? Let's get to the next guest.
We love Mom.
I do love my mom, and I miss her. And speaking of wonderful people, we have a wonderful person sitting in the studio, Juan Terrazas. He is with Path United. Juan, welcome to the studio, and I'm sorry that Harper and I kept bantering back and forth about my mother.
No, you're good. I'm enjoying this.
Well, speaking of enjoying, if people don't know what Path United does, they are going to enjoy hearing about what you guys do. Tell us about Path United and y'all's mission.
Yeah. So Path United, we're a nonprofit, and we establish community centers and mobile home parks. And in the mobile home parks, we work with the youth in there, with their families. We do after-school programs with the kids where they come at their set times and do different activities throughout the years. We have these things what we call adventure experiences, where we take them to just different adventures throughout the year, expose them to new ideas, to new places, to new people, and get them just thinking outside of the box, something that they normally wouldn't do on their own. So Path United is in there as not as a savior per se, but just as hey, we want to provide the resources and help you realize that you have the potential inside of you to be who you can be, who God created you to be.
So located in mobile home communities, how many different communities have you guys grown to that you guys are currently working in?
Right now, we're in 7 different communities. We're in Gwinnett, Barrow County, Walton County, in Hobb County, and we're also in Tennessee.
And to work in these communities, you guys have to partner with the community. So how does that get started in a mobile home community? Kind of how have you grown to 7? What does it look like? How does it get off the ground in a particular mobile home community?
Partnerships are the biggest things that help us get started. Without those partnerships, we wouldn't be able to, you could say, flourish. The first partner that we really look into is the actual community. So the park owner that gives us the opportunity to be in those communities. Without them, we really wouldn't be in there. And also having the church partners, the volunteers that come and help sustain the program through the year. We have local businesses that come in and also work along with us so we can expose the kids to those different businesses as well. It's just those partnerships, the churches,
Do most mobile home parks, they have a place already available, kind of like maybe it's where there's a pool or I mean, so for those people, and I guess every mobile home community is different, but you guys have to have kind of a location in the community to do what you do. What do those normally look like?
Yeah, we have our own trailer in the community, so the kids can come there. So we get our own trailer and we establish it there in one of the lots. And then that's when the kids come after school and they hang out or through the week.
Okay, so at these, so basically one of what would normally be a home is actually you guys take ownership or you're renting it or working it with the community center there. And so it becomes an after school center. So on a typical day, on a typical school day, or even during the summer, what would what would children of the community experience and what does that look like? Is it something that happens daily? Is it something that happens weekly? Kind of depends on the community. Talk about the spectrum that would look like.
Yeah, it depends on the community, but an overview of PATH and what we do in the community. We're there from Monday through Thursday and after school. So the kids, the elementary kids, in some communities we have 2 trailers and some we just have 1. And those that have 2, so the elementary kids have their own community center where they go to theirs, and then the middle school has their own, and high school as well. And when they go into the programs, they do their own different activities. So cater to the elementary kids. They do little kid stuff that will help them benefit them in their academics and just spiritual journey, and also for the middle school as well, exposing them to different activities that they can do through the week. One of the things that we like to do is helping them build their confidence. We realize that that's something that they really need. The past couple of years, we've taken surveys where we try to find out more of where they're at in the state of life. And one of the biggest things, like I said, is confidence, and they struggle with that. And so we're trying to help them build up that, help them learn how to communicate, how to talk to an adult, how to just even be reliable and just keep... So things like that.
I would imagine that initially when somebody first would hear about the program, they go, so what all is encompassed here? You mentioned the education, so I would imagine tutoring. If there's a point where the child says, I don't do math very well, or I don't communicate very well, that you would be able to focus on certain things. Is there athletics too? I mean, did they get to go outside and run and jump around and do some things that might be limited? And do you go outside of the community? Do you go to the corn maze in the fall, or do you do things in the spring? What other types of activities are you involved in?
Yeah, we do all that kind of stuff. And it also depends on the community. Each community center has their own site director, and so the different partnerships that we have there will lead them to do things like that. So we've had students that have gone to corn mazes and get involved in things like that. We've gone
or the
to
museum, let's say, or something in town, or the town center. I mean, I would imagine just going as kids with you and some chaperones without the parents, that might be a very unique experience for some of the youngsters.
Yeah, we take kids all the time to different places. We've even taken high school students to Lumistella, Elf on the Shelf, so they can get experience of what they do and how they run their business, and so kids get exposed to things like that. We've taken kids to day camps just for a day to get out of school for that day. To Twin Lakes. Twin Lakes, yes, to Twin Lakes. So we've taken the middle schoolers there so they can just have a day just to enjoy the time, to just get a time just away and just to kind of refresh for themselves.
They called them field trips back when I was a youngster. Yeah. And you'd have a special slip, and it couldn't be signed by anyone else but your mom or dad. You forged signatures,
now
Stephen,
they're called
you?
adventure. No,
not at all. One of the biggest things that one of the biggest partners that we have as well are the schools. So it gives the students opportunities also to just be able to miss that day so they can be able to experience things like that as well with us.
Yeah. And if I'm going to answer Harper, no, I did not commit a felony. Thank you very much. We're speaking with Juan Terrazas. He is the partner engagement specialist with PATH United. Juan, tell us your story. How did you get involved with PATH United?
Yeah, so I love what I do at PATH. My story, in a way, is similarly connected to PATH. I was actually born in Mexico, but I grew up in Dallas, Texas. And in Dallas, I was just a normal little kid, and I was oblivious to a lot of things. But by the time I turned 14 years old, my dad gets deported, and my mom has to go back to Mexico, and I'm 14, 15 years old. I find myself on my own. I get kicked out of my cousin's house at that time, and I'm house hopping, going from place to place, basically trying to I was basically in survival mode, trying to figure out how to get through life. But there were church ministries or organizations that went into my neighborhood, and then they reached out to me and they showed me a different path. They showed me about God. They showed me that I can do so much more, that I had a hope in the future. And so that gave me a sense of hope. And because of that, I was able to get out of my situation. I went to college. I graduated from a 2-year degree in Dallas of Central Community College. And I ended up coming to Georgia when I met who's my wife now in Texas. I say that she put a ring on it. And so it's just awesome just seeing where I've been at to where I'm at today. And then I met Jim around 2017. A friend of ours invited us to D.C. to go do some advocating for immigrants. And we met at the Capitol. And I just told him, hey, this is what I really want to do. I want to find some kind of work where I can work with youth, because I've been doing a lot of volunteer work, but I just had that heart to do it full time. And he's like, well, this is what we do at PATH. And I was like, sounds like it's a great connection. So came on PATH on board in 2018 and been working with him ever since.
And Jim is Jim Hollingsworth, who started
yes.
PATH United, and we've interviewed him before. Mm-hmm. So encourage everybody to go find past interviews with Jim Hollingsworth, but not until we're done here talking with Juan Terrazas.
We're talking to Juan
the
first.
partner engagement specialist. So talk about the communities that you guys are in these mobile home communities. We're talking about a lot of international, a lot of diversity, right? I mean, that's the reality of it. And we are talking about families, many of whom parents are both sometimes working multiple jobs in order to provide. And so you talk about children, and I guess the term is at risk, but it's more that children, like your story of kind of trying to figure out what their role is in life, what they're going to do. And so we're not necessarily always talking about severely neglected. We're talking about just in a situation where they're looking for a path. I guess that's where the name comes from. And so these after-school programs, a lot of it is to provide shelter in a way, but there's also life skills involved. There's also helping them with their educational journey. So is there one guiding principle behind everything? I know you've mentioned God. Is it known strictly as a religious organization? Is it known as, no, that's our foundation, and we're trying, kind of talk about the vision of PATH overall? Yeah,
that's our foundation. Is the North Star that we go off is that God loves me, God loves others, and God has a purpose for my life. So that's something that we want to instill in the youth, is realize that they have inherent value. A lot of the things that they struggle with is that value, that they're not good enough. And that's where we come in and try to help build their confidence. And so that's the foundation that we built off on. And we have 5 ingredients to flourishing that's what we try to instill in the kids as well. And it goes on having a relationship with God. And that's the foundation, laying that down. And also having multiple positive adult relationships. A lot of the youth may not experience that as well. They may have good relationships with their parents, but outside of that, they may not have someone else that can be a role model, someone they can look up to, helping them build strong reading skills. That's the foundation of learning in the academic aspect to really be they'll help them out in their education area. Also in the social and emotional health, building that, instilling that in them, and then also building a vision for their life, helping them see that they can do so much more. And that's when people came into my life and saw, and they encouraged me. They showed me that, hey, you have so much more to give. You don't have to just be a victim of your mentality. So that's something we try to let them see, is that you can be something more than what you think you are.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing a lot of that personal stuff. But I would imagine there's a movie, A League of Their Own, and there's a scene in there where Tom Hanks is looking at Gina Davis, and she wants to quit the team. And he says, you can't go. She goes, I'm leaving. It got too tough. It was too hard. He goes, the hard is what makes it great. And I've used that line on countless occasions. The hard in your life has helped someone else to say, hey, I didn't have a place to sleep, but yet I can help you with your life. I'm sure that there's some young kids that are out there, as soon as they hear, wait a second, this isn't just some guy. This guy's who lived it, and you've turned your own life around, and I'm here to help you turn your life around. It may be bad, but I guarantee you we can help make it better. Having a place to sleep, you've been through some tough things. So how do you transfer what you've been able to go through into seeing some other situations where, wow, I thought I had it. This kid, this young lady, she's had it much worse than I have, but yet still show the love and the respect and admiration that you have. That's not an easy process. So how did that work for you?
when I see the students that I work with, I see value, and I see that even if they don't see that themselves, I want to find a way to help them see that, because once they realize that, hey, I'm valuable, it doesn't mean that I can be cocky and I can get whatever I want, but I'm valuable in the sense that I can become so much more. I can be so much more.
It's interesting you say that, because there is a vision that you have because of what you've gone through and other people around you at that time, to where you can see past all of the bad things and go to young boy, let's say, or a girl. I can see you owning your own business at one point, because I see the way you talk to others. You're a leader and you get things done. You know what I mean? And they don't see it, but you do in them, and that may just be the little click that helps light the flame that they need to be able to get their lives started and really to move in the right direction.
Yeah, it's helping project their future. It's helping them see that, hey, this is who you are right now, but this is who you can be. And it's just helping them build that self-image, developing the self-concept of who they can be. We're
speaking with Juan Terrazas. He is the partner engagement specialist with Path United. And Juan, I have I have to do the hard job of those are great stories, and everybody's got a tear in their eye, and everybody's thinking of the person that spoke truth into their life and challenged them to take the next step, or where their value was. Oh, I got to get down to the nitty gritty and do a little business. Because you partner with a lot of businesses. I want to give you an opportunity to shout out some of the business partners, especially that and church partners, but really the business partners. Sorry, we're a business show, so there are businesses who are partnering with you. Give a shout out to some of the businesses that have helped, and then I'm gonna get you an opportunity to challenge the businesses that aren't yet partnering with you. So go.
Yeah. One of the biggest one is Lumistella, Elf on the Shelf. They're really big, and they've. Like I said earlier, we've taken kids over to their offices. The kids have gone over around and gotten to connect with some of those kids as well. In the past, we've been sponsored also by Pure Fun. It's one of the local businesses that is in Lawrenceville.
I think they probably let them come and play and have a good time, right, at Pure Fun. That's a great place.
Well, actually, Pure Fun is It sounds like it's a playhouse, but it's actually...
I was thinking of something else. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was thinking
Stephen is thinking of zip lining now. Exactly. He wants to zip line from one tree to another, George of the Jungle stuff.
All right. So Pure Fun. Go ahead.
So, they supply the daycare supplies. So we've been supported by them before. We Twin Rivers.
Mm-hmm. Twin Lakes.
Twin Lakes. Yep. I keep forgetting the name.
That's all right.
I'm still learning places.
Hey, listen, I messed up Pure Fun, so you were allowed to have a little bit. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, being able to take the kids over there, experience that. We've been able to take to, I forget the jumping place that is one in Beaufort.
See, I screwed it up, so you
I
can't ask me.
messed it up as well.
All right, so
Sky Zone, yes.
Sky Zone, there you go.
With Sky Zone as well.
Well done, Melissa. Shout out to Melissa Ketty from USI Insurance helping us out. Okay, so here's the other question. There are business owners listening. Businesses are always looking to give back. Businesses are also looking to get engaged in the community. How can businesses help? Certainly a tax-deductible gift would help to Path United, but what are some of the other ways they can partner? You're looking for volunteers. What would that look like for a business to partner with Path United?
One thing that I know will be really valuable, representation is really helpful. Like when the kid sees somebody that looks like them, they can see themselves in that person and say, man, I can own my own business. Because the youth, most of the things that they know is just what their parents do, is the hard labor work, which is not wrong. They can go ahead and do that if they want. But how about dreaming beyond that? I can be an actual business owner, owner of my own construction company instead of just doing the hard labor and employ others. So having that, and we're involved with the Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce as well. And I'm also finding ways, being the partner engagement specialist, I'm looking for ways to be able to bridge that gap so that the kids can be able to see the people that are in their shoes.
Like it. Other needs that Path United might have, apart from, of course, wonderful financial contributions. Are there needs for supplies, books, toys, things like that at each community center?
Yeah, each community center varies, but then, program supplies, volunteers, awareness, being able to do that. So if somebody can hear about Path and they say, man, I like what Path does, so I want to be able to share with this organization or with this business and that'll be awesome as well.
All right. So there's nothing left to say except for those people who want to partner with you, for those people who want to reach out, find out more about what you do. What's the best way for them to learn more about Path United?
They can go to our website at pathunited.org, or they can email me at juan@pathunited.org, and we can just start connecting like that.
They could be engaged by the partner engagement specialist.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Fantastic. Juan Terrazas, Path United, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Harper, before we wrap up the show, I want to remind everybody that Gwinnett Business Radio is brought to you by Regions Bank. We all know that keeping your company's financial future on track means having the right resources to support your growth. Regions Commercial Banking offers you lending capabilities and strategic solutions tailored to your needs, and you'll work with a team of experienced bankers here in Gwinnett. Discover steps to take that can help move you closer to your business goals. Regions is here to help. To learn more, visit regions.com/commercial-banking. Don't forget the dash. Also, don't forget Regions Bank.
Member
FDIC. Ooh. We got the bell treatment from Dan, the producer. So shout out to Dan, our producer. Shout out to my co-host, Harper LaBelle. I also want to thank our guests, Matt Bemister and Melissa Ketty from USI Insurance Services, and Juan Terrazas from Path United. Harper, final comments or one more Thanksgiving through line of the story?
Let's eat.
Amen. We're done. It's time for an early lunch. So for Harper and for Dan and for our guests and for Mike, this is Steven saying we will catch you next time on Gwinnett Business Radio.